Morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. If you're watching us live this time in the morning, nice to see you. And then if you join us later on watching this video, welcome. We're going to just go through a little bit. Basically, I just want to talk to you a little bit about what the society does, what the society is, and hopefully why you should join us this year. University, as you say, is not all just work. There are lots of societies out there, including Freeside, CS for like computer science things. There's lots of different societies, even things like Doctor Who societies and stuff like that. So exciting things to get involved with. But if you're interested in robots, we're the place to be. So without further ado, I'll just go through a little bit of what the society does, who we are, and the sort of things we get up to. Now, if any questions during this as well, there's the CS Discord server. If you go onto the general channel, ask a few questions on there. I'll get to them at the end, and I'll try and answer whatever I can for you. Okay, so who we are. Okay, we're the University of Hull Robotics Society, obviously. We consist of a group of students who are interested in designing and building robotic applications. So basically, we get together a couple of times a week. We normally access the robot lab, and we can build robots that already exist, or we design our own robots, and we spend a couple of hours just spending some time together, having some fun, and seeing what we can make these things do. We're an all-inclusive society, which means we include everybody. It doesn't matter your background, who you are, where you come from, what your knowledge and skill set is at the minute. Obviously, it helps if you know a little bit about robotics or computer programming or engineering or anything like that. But if you don't, one of the aims of the society is to try and spread that knowledge so you can learn while you're in there as well. All you need, really, as it says at the bottom, is just a love of robots. That's literally it. So what we do, like I previously just mentioned a little bit, we're a hands-on society, which can cause a few problems with certain aspects of it, but I'll get to that later on. But our main aim is to build robots, whether we design them ourselves or we build and program existing systems. Some of these existing systems I'll go through a little bit in a bit of what you can actually get to play with if you join the Robotics Society, and the sorts of things we can do with them. We create our own projects as well. We do have a couple of big projects which I'll talk about later on in the pipeline. One which we're hoping to start very, very soon, as soon as we've obviously got the COVID guidelines and everything in place to see how we can do it safely with everybody at the moment. Obviously, due to COVID at the moment, some of our stuff will have to be online. So we've designed a lot of online workshops and tutorials for software used in robotic applications. So up on our YouTube channel already, we've even got some like introduction to Python, and we've got some basic stuff on how to download and start with Weebot simulation software. The Python stuff, I'll get more into it later, but if you want to do more computer programming, hardcore computer programming, then it'll be Computer Science Society you really want. Most of our stuff is obviously aimed to what we can do with that coding to develop a robotic system in some way. So yeah, we would have those, and we're obviously going to have in real life, as soon as we can, figure them out, in real life meetings and socials. We're going to have some virtual social events as well, where there's not really going to be any robot building, but like we'll do some fun stuff somehow online, but I'll talk more about that a bit later. Okay, so what we have, obviously, if you want to be joining the society, you don't want to join a robotics society and not do anything with robots. So the university has obviously a robotic and mechatronics course. And so they've got a few robots in the university, and the Robotics Society has access to all of these robots, more than what you would have if you just was on the course. If you're not on the robotics course, you might not get access to them at all. But yet we get to play around with them, and we get to develop skills that you normally wouldn't do on the course as well. So you get to do extra things and make them do extra stuff. So let's just have a quick go through. Pepper, she's one of my favorites. She's about 4 foot tall. She's a fully interactive robot. You see she's got a screen on her chest. She can be used for all sorts of applications. She can sing, dance, and everything like that, but she can be used for like information posts and things like that. We want to kind of develop Pepper to be able to give people directions on open day and things like that as well. So it's all good. And if we just feel like having a bit of fun, we can get onto the software and change what she says when she interacts with you and stuff like that. There's so much to do with her. She rolls around. She's quite expensive. She's about £20,000, so we have to be careful when we're using her. Obviously, there are certain we have to sign everybody off on every robot that we use. Just a form, just make sure you've been through like a basic training of do's and don'ts, what to do with her, what not to do with her. Same with all the robots. But yeah, once that's signed off, then you can literally have a go and play around with any of these robots that I'm going to talk to you about now. Now, this is Pepper's little brother, made by the same people, SoftBank Robotics. He's a lot smaller. He's about 2 foot tall. He's very sweet, very cute. He reacts to voice. He does a lot of the same things Pepper does, but on a smaller scale. He can walk around. You can take his hand and go for a walk with him. He can walk by himself. He can avoid obstacles. He's obviously got speech patterns in there. He's got voice recognition, that sort of stuff. Cameras built into him, all sorts of switches and sensors that we can use to develop. This robot is also used in the RoboCup soccer league, or football league if you're English. But the Americans came up with it, hence why it's called soccer league. But then, so there'll be 2 teams of robots together that play football against each other. We've only got 2, so we can't put a football team together, but there is a simulated version as well, which we might be able to have a dabble with using the same principles of programming the real-life robot. Baxter, if you've seen the Robot Lab, you'll have noticed these 2 colossal machines in the back of the Robot Lab. We've got 2 Baxters. One's free roaming, although we don't usually use that for health and safety reasons. The other one in the corner, we've already placed Connect 4, so we can teach you how to set that up and work that. There's also modes where you can manipulate him and reprogram him, and we can do some good work with him as well. He's fully compliant as well. He looks mean and aggressive, but if he hits you, like most industrial robots, he's not going to really cause any damage. He'll stop, basically. He's safe for working with humans, which means he's perfect for students and people like us who want to experiment a little bit with him, because it means he's not going to knock us through the wall of the robot lab if we program him wrongly. We have a few of these. The university's got the Neo robotic arms. These are quite good. There's an API we can download and connect with them directly to make them move, or we can program them using ROS and Python. We can work on some inverse kinematics and forward kinematics to make them pick up stuff and do cool things. But yeah, we get to play with these. They're all 3D printed with metal struts and stuff in them, so we can actually print new ones and stuff using the Fab Lab if we need to. We've got all the files for that, so we can play around with those and do some really cool stuff with them. The Turtle Bots, again, the university's got these. These are navigation robots. They use LiDAR, ROS and Raspberry Pis to program them. ROS is Robot Operating System. It's a big interface that basically subscribes and publishes to lots of different things. So you can do quite complicated with a robot things with a robot, but in an easier fashion. But yeah, it's got LiDAR and things like that on it, so we can do some navigation, we can do some maze solving, things like that with it. Skip one. These are hexpods. These don't belong to the university. These are actually the societies. These were our first robots that we bought ourselves last year, because this is the only second year going. So last year we got given the grant from the union to buy a couple of robots, and this is what we bought, a couple of hexapods. We put them together ourselves. They can walk around, dance, and do all sorts of other things. We want to upgrade them to include some more sensors to make them a bit more autonomous, to avoid obstacles and that sort of thing. But these are all programmed via Arduino, so we can make them do all sorts of fun stuff, dance about and do some really cool things. We'll probably have one of these on Society's Fair next week, out doing a few bits and pieces as well. Creepy guys in Move. The one we have is called Mark. This one actually belongs to Professor John Murray. I'm sure some of you have met him already, but he lets us use him occasionally when he's working. I broke him last year, so he's out of commission just at this moment. But we can do some stuff with him using ROS and that again to make him move and interact. So we can do it like experiments with humanoid robots and stuff like that with him. We do some other stuff as well, some smaller stuff. We've obviously got access to the Lego Mindstorms. We've got Rubik's Cube solving robots that we can make with those, and we can do, you know, imagination with Lego. You can build whatever you want with them, and we've got plenty of the programmable bricks that we can do. There is software for that we can look at. The Meccano robots you see there, we've got 2 of those. They're like real budget versions of Pepper, so they react and do certain things. You can talk to them and they react to you like that. In the top right, we have a Zumo. A couple of the society members have their own versions of this, but the university does have a few to play with as well, that we're hoping to get together and work well this year. And they're sumo robots. So we're going to build a sumo ring for them, and we're going to redesign them and hopefully have some competitions battling each other, sumo style, with those little robots there. In fact, I've got one just here that you can see, so they're not very big. Yeah, this is my one. So they're only mini sumos, just to make them a bit more portable and stuff. Again, Arduino programmed. Down at the bottom left, the real robots. There was a magazine years ago that came out. Professor Murray had a couple lying around, so he's lent them to us. But these can play football as well. They've got all sorts of sensors attached to them. And on the bottom right is an ActivityBot 360 by Parallax. These are, you can put lots of sensors on these. See, the one on there's got an ultrasonic sensor on it that we can put on and use to detect objects in front of it, but also they've got light sensors and IR sensors, and we can do all sorts of fun stuff with those as well. Our big projects though, that's what we have, what we're actually working on building at the moment. We have a couple of projects that we are working on. One we have most of the parts have arrived for, so we'll hopefully start working on that right now. So we are building a quotation marks Mars rover. It's obviously not going to be feasible enough to put in a rocket and go to Mars, but we're doing something in the style of a Mars rover that drives, can climb over things. We're going to attach cameras to it, maybe in arm if we can get that. We've got a weather station that we're going to put on it, and we're going to transfer this either via Bluetooth or radio. We haven't quite decided yet, but the parts are here. We're doing this in conjunction with the Physics Society, actually. They want to be able to use this sort of thing on open day for demonstrations and do some cool physics stuff with it. But initially they came to us just so we can give them help in actually building the robots. So we're going to do that. So we're working alongside those. So it's going to be pretty cool. It's going to drive around, obviously have 6 wheels, be able to climb over things, say tell the weather, and all that's going to be transmitted to a receiver where you can control the robot, but it's going to have a color screen in there so you can see images. We might be able to take like UV, do some object recognition and things like that with it as well, which is quite exciting. The other big project that we're working on is we acquired last year, this has been lying around the university for a while. We acquired last year the shell of a full-size Dalek. It's a little worse for wear, but one of the societies going to restore it to its former glory, maybe put some improvements in it. So first thing we're going to do is work on the drive and just get it going through RC. But then we want to put an artificial intelligence in it, so it can be fully autonomous and we can interact with it in lots of different ways. But it's a long-term project, this one. I'm currently trying to rustle up the funds to be able to pay for it because it's quite an expensive project. So there's a grant to apply for, so I'm applying for that at the moment. Hopefully we'll get some funding to be able to get it underway sooner rather than later. If we don't get the funding, then it's going to be a slow project, but something we can continuously work on for a few years, hopefully. Yeah, we're going to put the full lights and sounds in it, obviously, so it looks and sounds like a Dalek as well, but so it can be interacted. We're even maybe looking at ways so it can navigate around university campus. And people can interact, put a location in, and the Dalek heads over that way and stuff like that as well, so people can do stuff virtually with it as well. But that's a big project. It's going to take a long time to do, but really cool stuff that we're working on at the moment. We've already bought the motors, the big heavy-duty wheelchair motors with wheels attached. They're quite powerful, quite beefy, quite impressive things. Workshops. Okay, as I've mentioned, as we all know, the virus is about. We can't meet as easily as we would do. So, and some people just don't want to come out just yet when they don't have to, which is fine. It's fair enough, look after yourself, do what you think you need to do. So in that case, we're going to put on some virtual workshops as well. Things that we're going to do online. We're going to stream to our YouTube channel, and maybe some via Twitch for some open ones if it's going out to a wider audience. But these are solely going to be aimed at Robotics Society members. So it's going to be private on our YouTube channel, and only Society members can gain access to it for now. We're going to do lots of these. If you pop onto our YouTube channel already, there's a few bits and pieces there. Just have a look when you get a chance. I'll talk a bit more about that in a moment. But some of the workshops we're going to do are... We're going to do some workshops in Python. Again, as I previously mentioned, if you want to go heavy on the computer science side of things, and you want to do like more software development and stuff like that, then speak to the CS Society. That's mainly their area of expertise. We're doing Python workshops because a lot of robots, especially using ROS and other things like that, will be coded in Python. So we're going to do some basic tutorials just to get some people up to speed about the syntax and stuff like that, because if you've worked with C-based languages, it's a little bit different layout and stuff like that. No curly brackets, indentations, no calling of what your variables are, stuff like that. So yeah, we're going to do some basics with those, and then we're going to develop quite quickly onto some more robotic applications with Python, things like libraries like OpenCV for object recognition and TensorFlow for artificial intelligence, and things like that. So it's going to be mainly aimed at developing Python skills for programming robots rather than anything else. Weebots, we are going to use Weebots. It's a robotics simulation tool. It's not quite as good as the other simulation tool that we're going to do a workshop in, but it's easier to get the hang of for a start and teach you some principles. So we can do that, and it's available on Windows and Linux as well, as where the other systems are only the other simulations are only available on Linux. So it's more accessible for people as well. It's called Weebots. Instructions for how to download that are on our YouTube channel. And we will be doing our taster session next Friday. I'll talk about more about that in a moment. But that will be using the Weebots robotic simulation. We're going to be doing some tutorials in SolidWorks, obviously designing robots, ROS, Robot Operating System, and Gazebo. That's the simulation that works with it. That's a very complicated thing to learn, but really handy for programming robots once you've learnt it. Arduino, obviously using microcontrollers, got some good stuff lined up with that, and a simulator if you don't have an Arduino, so you can join in even if you haven't got an Arduino. Again, Linux, you want to talk to Freeside if you really want to work with Linux in depth. Again, we will just be doing it for the purposes of we need to know a little bit about it to be able to work with ROS and other things like that. So it'd just be keeping people up to speed and the basics just to get people up to scratch with it. And we're going to be doing some stuff with Blender as well. I know it's normally an art thing, but it's handy for making meshes and stuff like that when you're working with simulations as well. So one of our members is quite good with Blender, so he's going to be taking some workshops with that. Okay, our online taster session is going to be the basics of using Weebots. That's Weebots you can see on the screen. It's what I did last year. You do use it on the course unless things change. We used it last year, second year, so it's handy to know how it works anyway. It's open to everybody, so it's going to be streamed via Twitch. The link's on there, and questions and stuff will be answered through our own Robotics Society Discord channel. The link's there as well. It'll be 2:30 to 3:30 next Friday, the 25th. So we see there, and you have a bit of a taster session with our project manager Johnny, who's going to go through some stuff with you, do some basics by importing robots and building robots in this simulation tool. Instructions to download are on our YouTube channel, like I said, or you can go directly to www.cyberbotics.com. Socials. We do have social. We do hold socials. Again, at the moment, it's a little bit difficult to hold them properly. So we're going to do a lot of virtual ones as well, but never fear, we're going to do some fun stuff there. We've got like some quizzes. We're going to do a virtual escape room and things like that as well. And also we have we've developed a new game with our mascot, Steve the Robot, where we've hidden him around university. We've taken some pictures, and you have to guess where he is from the pictures and see where you're right and stuff like that. Bit of a fun game to do. When we get back to normal again, socials, we can do everything from movie nights to going to the escape rooms in Hull, and some nights we just do normal pub crawl, or we go out for a meal. Lots of different things that we do. We normally hold them every other Thursday. Okay, so when we meetings normally take place every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 till 7:30 in the Robot Lab. Obviously some of these will be virtual, so keep an eye on our social media for when things are happening and where things are happening. Virtual workshops, obviously I've just said, will take place instead of some of the personal meetings, and social events take place every other Thursday, but obviously we might fit more of these in or less of these in depending on what else we're doing at the moment with the way things are. So membership, the most important bit for us, the worst bit for you, £15 for the year. It's quite expensive, but the reason why it's so expensive is because building robots is expensive. That's why. And all the money that you pay goes into building, we invest into buying more robot parts or buying robot kits and stuff like that, and actually building robots, or ways to earn us more money to build robots. Everybody's entitled to join one meeting of social before fees have to be paid, which will be, if you join us on next Friday, that will be your taster session. So after that, your membership will have to be paid. You can pay your membership at the union website. It can normally be paid in the union, but things that the way they are at the minute, it's just on the website. The link's there. And what it includes, you get full access to our normal meetings and socials. Obviously, if we do something like an escape room like that for a social, there will be an extra cost on there for each of us. Full access to the Society Facebook group. We do have a no page open to everybody, but the group is for members only. Full access to the Society Discord server. You can get on there as a guest, but for full access you need to be a member. And then full access to the Society GitHub and YouTube. The GitHub's still under construction at the minute, but you get full access to that. And each member will receive a 3D printed desk ornament of our mascot Steve. Here's one I have here. So each member will receive one of those as well. Merchandise, there will be some merchandise involved as well. You can get we've got Society clothing coming this year, which will be for members only. We don't earn anything off that, it's just what it costs. It comes in, you can get that, you'll have your name on it and member on it. Society's just, the committee's just got theirs coming now. Other things we have coming in, we've got some mugs which are on sale now, and we've got other things like you can see there, power banks, pens, flash drives in the works. We'll be selling these to everybody though, to try and again raise some more money to buy some more robots for the Society. If you want to contact us, here are all our social media links. If you use the QR code at the bottom, it will take you to our Linkle page, which has links to every single one of those social media accounts. So there's our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube, Discord, our email, and our Twitch. Twitch is a bit empty at the minute, we've just set it up, so just bear with us on that one. But if you want to get in contact with us, any questions, just give us a shout on any of those things. We will be at the Society's Fair next Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. So if you want any more questions, you want to ask somebody in person, pop along there and you can see us in person. See if we've got any questions quickly on the Discord server. There's nothing showing at the moment. So like I say, if anybody's got any questions, feel free to drop us a line on any of the social medias or pop in to see us next week at the Society's Fair. That's all from me. Thank you for listening. Hope to see you all soon. A few of you joining us to do some cool stuff. So give us a shout and join us when you're ready. Thank you very much. See you later. Bye-bye.